This is insane as Penguins general manager Kyle Dubas has revealed a huge update involving Penguins forward Rutger McGroarty, and today we'll be talking about how this could impact the team coming up and why it will have huge implications and why Penguins fans might not be happy with the way the timeline is going with Rutger. But before we get into that and more, make sure you guys do, of course, subscribe to the channel. We are currently at 67.5% of viewers who are not subscribed. So if you are in that large portion of Penguins Digest viewers who are not yet subscribed to the channel, why don't you hit that subscribe button? It's easy, it's free, it's right below me. You just hit that button. And you can also hit that notification bell as well if you want to get all the Penguins news right when it comes out. The Penguins are on a tear, and they are also playing the Florida Panthers tonight, who haven't been off to a great start because they haven't had Matthew Tkachuk or Alex Barkov. But the Penguins hopefully can take care of business tonight. But one player that had a lot of promise going into the season was, of course, none other than Rutger McGroarty. So there was a huge update. Kyle Dubas talked about, how his injury is progressing, what the plan for him is when he is supposed to be healthy, if he'll be able to have a spot on the NHL roster. And we're gonna talk about, where he can fit on the NHL roster, if that's possible, and also how he's dealing with his injury, among other things, because for me, coming into the year, I thought Rutger McGroarty is going to be a staple on that first line, and if there isn't a spot in the top six, does it kind of make sense for him to go to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins? So first things first, what sparked a lot of conversation was, of course, this post from Shelly Anderson on Twitter. Injured forward Rutger McGroarty is working out on the ice an hour before Penguins practice. So this was posted 3 days ago on October 20th. We knew Rutger McGroarty's timeline was kind of indefinite. We didn't have a lot of information on the injuries he was dealing with, and of course, it happened in training camp. He missed all of the preseason, basically, and he missed practically all training camp. So I assume in conditioning-wise, he's probably a little bit behind the NHL level, and someone like McGroarty is probably still the Penguins' best prospect. Maybe the reins have been handed over to Ben Kindle, who's had a super strong start to the season, playing very well at that 3C hole. But I think Penguins fans shouldn't forget about Rutger because, despite guys like Harrison Brunick playing well, Ben Kindle playing well, some other young guys playing well, even down the AHL, Rutger, to me, should be their best prospect right now. A highly touted guy, and I hope he should be better soon. And, of course, what Kyle Dubas did say was super important. A little bit of a long quote here. This is from Penn's Inside Scoop. This was yesterday evening. He gave an interview in his latest edition on the GM show. So Rutger, at his age, we want to make sure that we're doing everything to ensure that it doesn't sort of multiply to a greater issue. So he's here skating. I would say inside of the next month, he'll return, and that will come in Wilkes-Barre Scranton. He missed training camp and all of the preseason, so we'll get him back fully up and running, and when he's able to return to practice and cleared, we'll have him go to Wilkes-Barre and just continue the progress he made last year. So honestly, not too surprising with someone like Rutger McGroarty. I think it does kind of make sense that he would go to Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Again, he's just going to be behind the physicality and pace of the NHL level. We saw at the start of the season last year, they tried to play him in the NHL immediately, and he didn't look too good. But he obviously did get a second stint where he played okay, which was pretty solid for him. And I think just looking at the Penguins' top six, even their top nine, I don't really see a spot for him. They're pretty good, especially that second line. Even the first line with Raquel, Crosby, Rust, they look good there. And then I think right now it's Novak, Tomasino, Kindle on the third line. Obviously, we're not touching the second line of Malkin, Brazeau, and Mantha, who have been elite to start the year. So for me, if he comes back in the next 3 or 4 weeks, the AHL does make a ton of sense for him. Again, last year, McGroarty played 8 NHL games, 3 at the beginning of the year and 5 toward the end of the season before he suffered another injury blocking a shot. He had 3 points in those 8 games and played a top 6 role during his second stint. So, of course, a top 6 role should have been etched out for McGroarty. That's just not going to be the case when he gets back. Mantha and Brazeau, both new additions who are playing a lot better. Who knows what could have happened if McGroarty actually didn't end up at training camp? We have no idea. So I think, sending him to the AHL just makes a lot of sense. I know as a Penguins fan, we all want to see him inside of the NHL roster on that first 2 lines, but I think patience is going to be key with McGroarty if he's dealing with a lot of these injuries. Of course, I think Dubas said it best pretty much. If he's going to be someone that's kind of dealing with injuries, you want to take the best care about it. Be cautious. The Penguins are in a spot right now where they don't really need his his services at this point. Again, they're 5-2-0. They've been playing super well to start the season. I think they've looked very, very good. And someone like McGroarty could go to the AHL because the AHL team has been pretty solid, of course. I think, again, just someone like Rutger, again, only 3 points with the Penguins last year. But in Wilkes-Barre Scranton, he had 39 points in 60 games, which is pretty good as an AHL rookie. And I think he'd only be better if he goes back down there this year. Again, a super prolific scorer down in the U of Michigan in 23-24, where he had 52 points in 36 games. And also, of course, in the 22-23, his draft year, he was a point-a-game player again in Michigan, so which led him to be drafted 14th overall by Winnipeg. And, of course, for those who don't know, he was traded, I think it was 1-for-1 for Braden Yeager. So, again, they're putting a lot of trust in McGroarty. The only thing I don't like about him is that he's a forward and wears number 2. I think that does look a little bit weird, but, hey, man, if it works for him, who am I to complain? So I think he has been a pretty solid AHL player. And I think he will end up back there because, you know what? The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, they have been super, super solid. Again, they're first overall in the AHL. They're 5-0 right now. Goals for 21, goals against only 8. They have been elite down there. And they have been led by some elite players, of course, just looking at the point production there. Danton Heinen, who's been an AHL player for a really long time, is probably maybe a little bit too good for the AHL. But he just doesn't fit on the Penguins right now. 8 points in 5 games. Ville Koivunen, I'm the leader of the Ville Koivunen fan club, guys. If you've been around the channel long enough, 6 points in 4 games. I hope he does get another shot with the NHL club soon. Atlee Calvert, someone I'm pretty unfamiliar with, maybe related to Matt Calvert, maybe, I don't know. 5 points in 4 games. Tristan Brose, who was someone I was super excited for. 5 points in 5 games. Sam Poulin, who was a first-round pick a few years ago, a physical body. 5 points in 5 games as well. Avery Hayes, 4 points in 5 games. Harvey Pinard, 4 points in 4 games. And obviously Valtteri Puustinen, also 4 points in 4 games. So there's a lot of promising guys in the AHL for the Penguins. Again, to me, their depth at forward is super strong. I've been saying that a lot. The only thing I've been worried about so far is their defense, but it hasn't seemed to matter too much. And, of course, someone who's contributed a lot to these wins, obviously Sergei Murashov, who has 4 wins, 0 losses, a goals against average of 1.75, and a .938 save percentage. So he has been elite as well. So I think it just makes a lot of sense for McGroarty to go down to the AHL. And honestly, I'm really happy he's going to be back soon. I think the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, if they're playing good, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are also playing good, it just means there's good things in the works for the Penguins soon here. And it just makes a lot of sense for McGroarty to go down there. Again, I said at the beginning of the video, his conditioning is not going to be the greatest, given he missed training camp and preseason. And he's just not going to have a spot on the roster, as surprising as that is. I know a lot of people were low on the Pittsburgh Penguins throughout the season, but just looking at the forward lines, maybe you could find him a spot on that third line instead of a Hollander or a Novak, but I think they've been okay. I have been reading some posts online lately about people not loving how Ben Kendall's been playing super lately, but I think he's 18 years old, so I wouldn't be too worried about that, and worst case, maybe he does get sent back down to the WHL, which I think Penguins fans shouldn't be disappointed in. Again, though, Raquel, Crosby, Rust, that seems pretty set in stone. Manta, Malkin, Brazeau, even more set in stone than that first line. And, of course, Novak, Kindle, Hollander, Dewar, Lizotte, Acharya. So, guys, let me know where you think someone like a Rutger McGroarty, a fully healthy Rutger McGroarty, would fit in this lineup. I just don't see it being anywhere here unless they trade someone like a Rickard Raquel. I don't see Crosby, Malkin, or Rust moving. And I don't know if it makes sense to play him on the third line. At that point, may as well play him first line AHL minutes, give him that power play, penalty kill time, and see how that goes. So I think that would be super interesting as well. So, again, to the Penguins, they are in Florida today taking on the Panthers. Palmeiras has some quotes about how well Malkin was playing, so look out for him to play super well again. So, again, Rutger McGroarty, just another player to look forward to for the Penguins, along with the guys like Hayes, Brose, Kindle, Brunick. All these guys have been super exciting. You can't forget about Malkin and Crosby, of course. So, anyways, guys, let me know where you think McGroarty should play eventually when he gets back and he's fully healthy, maybe back on the NHL squad. And let me know where you guys are watching the Penguins game tonight, because I'm curious where a lot of you guys are from. I'm personally from Ontario in Canada, so that's where I'll be watching the game from. But let me know where you guys are from watching. Are you from Pittsburgh? Are you from Canada? Because I know there's a lot of Canadian Pittsburgh fans because of Sidney Crosby, of course. But again, Rutger McGroarty coming back soon. Let me know if you guys did enjoy the video. Peace out and subscribe if you did enjoy, and have a good one as always.